we are reading about change of states of matter. So mainly there are three states of matter. First is the solid, and then is the liquid, and lastly is the gaseous state. So from the first state, when a substance is converted from its solid state to its liquid state, uh, this process is called melting or fusion. When a liquid state is converted into its gaseous state, this process of transition is known as vaporization or boiling or evaporation. When a substance is converted into from its gaseous state into its liquid state, then this transition is known as condensation, and when the liquid state is converted into its solid state, this transition is called freezing or uh, solidification. Now, when a solid state of a particular material is converted directly into its gaseous state, this process of transition is known as sublimation, usually seen in naphthalene. Now, when the gaseous state is directly converted into the solid state, this process is known as deposition. It is mainly seen in the Himalayan regions or in the very cold regions. Dry ice may be a good example of that. Dry CO2, when CO2 gas is cooled at a very lower temperature, then it directly converts into its solid state. So it is known as dry ice. Now, the solid state is the lower state of any material. It is considered in that way, and the gaseous state is considered as the higher state of any material. It is because when transition occurs from solid to liquid to gas in this direction, from solid to liquid to gas, then heat is absorbed into the material. Heat is applied by us, or maybe from the nature, maybe artificial or natural, into the material. On the other hand, when a substance is does the transition from its gaseous state to liquid state to solid state, then heat is released from the substance, and as a result the substance itself cools down. The environment around it accepts or absorbs the heat from that substance, and as a result the substance cools down, and it perceives this kind of transition from its gaseous state to liquid state to solid state, or maybe directly, whatever it is. So this is the reason why solid state is known as the lower state and the gaseous state is known as the higher state. Latent heat is applied or is released by a substance which takes part in changing its state from one form to another. Now, it may be in case of fusion or melting, it may be in case of vaporization or boiling or evaporation, it may be in case of freezing, or it may also be in case of condensation. Now, what is latent heat? Latent heat is the amount of heat which is just required to change the state. Ice in 0 degrees Celsius is converted into water at same temperature 0 degrees Celsius by the help of latent heat, by the absorption or by the application, by applying latent heat. So latent heat does not result in the change in temperature. Now change refers to increment or decrement of the temperature. Now I am reading out the definition of latent heat. Amount of heat extracted or applied to change the state of unit mass of a substance at a constant temperature is called the latent heat of the substance. For that change of state, amount of heat extracted or applied to change the state of unit mass of a substance at a constant temperature is called the latent heat of the substance. For that change of state, so at a particular temperature, at constant temperature, the amount of heat required to change the unit mass of a substance from one state to another is called latent heat of that substance for that change in its state. That's all about latent heat. And as I've said a little bit earlier, that there are four types of latent heat of fusion, latent heat of vaporization, latent heat of condensation, and latent heat of solidification. That's it.